What's up, guys? YouTube and Wrestling Universe. I'm here with the results from Impact Weekend's Unbreakable and Starstruck shows, which took place August the 2nd and the 3rd. Unbreakable on Impact Plus on Friday, and then Starstruck was on Twitch TV on Saturday. Somehow I mistakenly thought I already had the results up. However, here are the results from Unbreakable. First matchup saw Peter Avalon and Ray Razas versus Chris Bay and Watts. We saw the team of Peter Avalon get the win. We then see Sami Callihan and Jake Crist talking in the back, and this leads to the 5-way match for the X Division Championship with Trey, Danny Limelight Rivera, Ace Austin, Adrian Quest, and the champion Jake Crist. Jake Crist winds up retaining. Match 3 saw Madison Rayne versus Ayoka Mahora, and this honestly didn't seem like a good match. Madison Rayne gets the win. We then get Taya talking in the back, and it's just your standard "I'm winning tonight" stuff. On a side note, the audio still seemed a little off for this event, but it could just be me nitpicking and looking for it because of the other events. Next match was Eddie Edwards versus Michael Elgin in a 20-minute match, which got a standing ovation. I didn't watch the whole match, however, Michael Elgin gets the win in the end. We then have Rhino shooting on WWE, and he throws in a couple of cuss words saying Moose is going to get gored. And then it's time for the Big Booty Daddy. He gives us a dose of Steiner math and then some other gibberish. Their opponents are Gentleman Jervis, Dickie Mayer, and Ryan Taylor. Jervis comes out and he reminds me of the Curry Man gimmick that TNA used to have that was played by Christopher Daniels. However, unlike Curry Man, when the action actually starts, he comes off more as a joke character. I watched a good portion of this match, and I don't think Scott Steiner should plan a full-time comeback anytime soon. He was okay, but he just seemed a little slow. I was surprised that he pulled off a top rope Frankensteiner. And it was also interesting to see Jordan Grace in the heel role, and I think it works better for her. Willie Mack and Rich Swann are interrupted in the back while playing video games by Reno Scum. Next up is one of the matches I was interested in on the card, the Knockouts Championship match with Jessica Havoc and Taya Valkyrie. Match itself was okay, but Taya winds up getting counted out by walking away. Not really the greatest ending, but it's announced later that a rematch will happen next Friday on Impact. Next is Moose versus Rhino. Moose asks Jimmy Jacobs where's Michelle, meaning Melissa Santos. Moose basically says Rhino is going to get the same treatment as RVD, but Rhino winds up getting the win. Moose winds up looking strong though, beating Rhino up most of the match. Next up, we get the North backstage saying that they won't lose the titles when they face Rich Swann and Willie Mack and Reno Scum. I glanced at this match more than actually watching it, and it seemed to be a pretty good match with the North retaining. We hear from Tessa Blanchard before the main event. She said her and Sami aren't equals. Early on in the match, Tessa seems to injure her knee. This leads to her taking most of the damage through the match. She gets a little offense, but the match is mostly all Sami. Tessa is about to get the win, but Jay Crist comes out to distract her. As Tessa has Sami pinned, Crist gets the referee distracted. Sami then uses the X Division Championship to hit Tessa, and then he hits a cactus special for the win. Tommy Dreamer comes out with kendo sticks after the match to save Tessa from Crist and Callahan, trying to attack her after the match. Tommy Dreamer then grabs the mic, and the fans chant for Tessa. And Sami Callihan becomes the #1 contender for the Impact Championship. Tommy Dreamer then leaves the ring as the crowd chant for Tessa in the middle of the ring as the show goes off the air. August the 3rd, 2019, live on Twitch TV, we had Impact Starstruck, which took place from Florentine Gardens in El Monte, California. The show starts with the pre-show. Adrian Quest versus Hollywood Heritage Champion Andy Brown, and Andy Brown winds up retaining. I didn't watch this match. Next up, we had Peter Avalon versus the Golden Boy Jordan Clearwater. Peter Avalon wins. Again, I didn't watch this match. When I finally tuned in, it was 11 minutes into the show, and we had Reno Scum versus the Rock Nest Monsters. Reno Scum winds up picking up the win in what seemed to be a pretty decent match from the parts of it I've seen. Next up, scheduled for one fall, was Madison Rayne versus Jordan Grace, and this was definitely a better match for Madison than at Unbreakable. These two seemed to know each other well in the ring. We began having random sounds play in the match, and it was a good back and forth match. It seemed Madison on the losing end of things when Jordan Grace reverses and winds up rolling up Madison. The X Division Championship is next when Trey of the Rascals and Ace Austin go after the X Division Champion, Jake Crist. Jake Chris winds up retaining. Next up is Havoc versus Viva Van with Johnny Bravo. Needless to say, Havoc gets the win, and then Johnny steps up to challenge her next, and of course he gets destroyed. Surprisingly though, he does wind up getting his licks in. Next was Sami Callihan versus Willie Mack. I missed the beginning of this match, but came in to see them on the outside of the ring with Sami in control. This turned out to be a pretty good match from that point on, and see Sami Callihan victorious. Next up we had Eddie Edwards versus Moose in a street fight. This was a pretty good street fight, non-wrestling match. Again, the audio sound effect issues continued in this match. Eddie Edwards, of course, is mostly on the receiving end of the beating. After Kenny meets the stomach of Moose, Eddie rolls Moose up for the win. Next up, in what seemed to be a great match, we have Michael Elgin get the win over Rich Swann. And then in the main event, we see the North versus Rhino and Tommy Dreamer for the Impact Tag Team Championships. I honestly didn't remember watching this, so I went back and watched it about 4:30 this morning in order to finish this review. I would say that the North have been impressing me, but honestly I didn't really care about this match. It was a pretty slow-paced match that I wanted to hurry up and end. It also began with a lot of starts, stops, and restarts. The match was okay, but the crowd didn't really seem into it. The North wound up retaining after they hit a tag team move, which I assume is their finisher on Tommy Dreamer, after he goes headfirst into the corner, hitting a chair which he set up. In the end, the North tried to attack Tommy Dreamer and Rhino and catch a couple of gores. Rhino winds up leaving the ring and walking to the back after helping Tommy Dreamer to his feet to end the show. Guys, that was Impact, Unbreakable, and Starstruck. I don't know what happened to the original review I thought I had. Sorry for those who may have been looking for the review. I don't see a lot of Impact reviews on YouTube. For those that saw the show, what were your thoughts and opinions, likes and dislikes? Please be sure to stay tuned for more reviews and videos. Thank you for taking the time to listen / watch this video, and also thank you for taking the time to be here.